What's up, guys? So recently I got a message from one of you guys who has bought a ton of my instructionals, but you're kind of having an issue at your gym. I'm not going to name the person, but one of you basically said, hey Brandon, I've got a ton of your instructionals, but man, no one in my gym wants to wrestle. Obviously this guy's not at a wrestling room, so this isn't for any of you guys who are high school wrestlers, college wrestlers, etc. He's at a local jiu-jitsu gym where no one wants to wrestle, and honestly I totally get it. Because the culture is not really there in jiu-jitsu to wrestle. He asked, what should I do? He wants to improve his wrestling, but no one's going to wrestle live with him. Obviously, this is just my advice, but I'm going to give you 3 different ways to improve your wrestling, especially if no one wants to go live with you initially, okay? And these are all just suggestions, and they may not work, but we'll see. So, number 1 is test versus live. So test versus live means this. If live rounds are about to start, I do this a lot because I teach a lot now, so a lot of the times my training session is me teaching and then me rolling. What I'll do is I'll be like, hey man, let's call him Bob. Hey Bob, during this round, if you don't mind, can I test out some takedowns? I actually don't want to spar live. Yeah, maybe we can flow. Maybe, I can get into the takedown and you can resist a little bit, or hey, maybe you just let me work through the motions a little bit and then we slowly add some resistance. But nothing crazy, no full live here. I just want to work on some stuff I got in instructional. Would that be okay with you? This one works. I'm telling you, this one works really, really well because for one, you're putting the responsibility on them to help you get better. A lot of us want to help each other, right? But if you're just straight up like, I want to do takedowns with you, that can be really intimidating. But if you're like, hey man, I've been watching this instructional, I just want to kind of go through the motions with some of these things with you, and then maybe we can bump up the resistance a little bit. But hey, nothing serious, no live. I'm not gonna pick you up, slam you, nothing. I just want to kind of try these things a few times before we go into live rounds in the next one. A lot of times people will say, yeah, sure, no problem. I personally, like I said, I do this most of the time whenever I'm teaching a class because I don't want to run straight into live. I'll just get a partner and just kind of drill, like do some static drilling, and then eventually I'll start to kind of pick it up to like some more like flowy drilling. And this is a great way to get your wrestling techniques in from instructionals or whatever else versus just going pure live. And again, it works really well because it makes your partner feel like, hey, they're safe too, and you're just going through the motions and you're not going to hurt them, and it's kind of nice. Number 2 is give guarantees, and number 2 is a two-part piece of advice. So number 2 is giving guarantees. So let's say we did our first thing, which was the testing versus alive, meaning we tested out our techniques, we got warm, we got juicy, whatever. And now the second round comes, and now we actually want to wrestle with this person. So how do we get that to happen? Well, give them 2 guarantees, okay? The first guarantee is, and this one's going to sound crazy, it's a little bit of a manipulation, is ask them to go easy. I'm serious. Be like, hey man, I do this all the time because I'm a big wrestler, right? Be like, hey man, my shoulders hurt, but I do want to wrestle. If you want, like, let's just take it easy. Like, I'm not gonna try to kill you as long as you don't try to kill me. Don't hurt me, I don't hurt you. I'm a little banged up, but I still want to, roll from the feet. Number 1, this really puts people's guard down, especially for me because I'm a lot bigger than most people, right? And so most people are already scared of me because I'm big and I'm a former wrestler. But it's not just me. There's guys, again, like the guy who messaged in who said, hey, he's having this issue, people are scared to get hurt, right? Well, if you're like, hey man, I'm not trying to get hurt, can we do this thing, but can we kind of take it slow? It's live, yes, but I'm a little banged up here, a little banged up there, maybe my knees hurt, whatever. Can we just do kind of a little bit of a flow roll? This guarantee that you're not going to go hard is going to make a lot of people want to roll with you, and especially want to roll with you on the feet. Number 2 is to allow the first takedown. I actually got this from Chewy. He didn't say it explicitly, but he's kind of done it a lot where he'll let, especially when it's a new person who's tense and super tight, he'll let them pass him, submit him, etc., etc. Now I do this whenever I wrestle with someone new. A couple days ago, I taught jiu-jitsu at one of the gyms that I teach. I went with a new guy. The second we shook hands, I could feel he was he was ready to just mess me up. So I was just like, no, it's okay. I was like, cool, whatever. I literally just, I kind of act, you know, I'm not telling this guy, hey, I'm going to let you take it out, but, you know, I put my hands on him. When he shot, I fell to my butt, I let him pass me, and I let him put me in an Americana, and he submitted me. As soon as we got back up standing, he was relaxed. A lot of times when you wrestle, again, I can only speak from my experience, but a lot of times when you wrestle with others, they're gonna be really tense, really scared because they're very new to it. And when we're new to things, we tend to be very tense. And kind of letting someone beat you, even though there's no winning or losing in practice, can be a really good way to help allow people to, you know, put their guard down, and then you start to have better roles. You know, for one, someone who may not have wanted to roll with you in general, they may be like, oh, he's not a mean guy, he's not trying to hurt me, he's not just trying to win. Okay, this guy's a fun guy to roll with. Number two, with that in mind, they're gonna be like, he's a fun guy to roll with, and when we play takedowns, you know, he's not spazzing out of takedowns when I attempt them, and he doesn't have spazzy defense, so, you know, we can actually both work here. I think that this is really big, is just kind of being humble and allow yourself to get, if you're a much better wrestler than the other person, bro, just allow yourself to get taken down. And even if you're not, hey, if you're new to this takedown thing, still, bro, I would advise it. Let them take you down first. Don't just flop over like a fish, but, you know, give them a little resistance and let them take you down, and then maybe let them pass you, maybe let them submit you. I think this is, in general, a good rule to just help, like, spazzy people relax. And of course, if they're continuing to be spazzy, you'd be like, hey, bro, we had a deal, right? Like let's chill. Number three, this is what I would call the last resort. Personally, I only do number three when I'm in camps, and this is solo drills. So solo drills or stance in motion is basically where you wrestle by yourself on the mat. You can do shots, down blocks, sprawls, snaps with med balls, whatever. It's more of a flow, right? I like solo drills because it teaches you how to, it's like you're dancing, right? You go onto the dance floor and you're just dancing, blah, 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 blah. But instead of dancing, you're wrestling, right? You're teaching your body how to move, and everyone's body is different. When you watch me do solo drills, I look a lot different than when you watch David Taylor do solo drills, right? Not that you can even compare us, but it's completely true. Solo drills are a super great way to just teach your body how to move, how to wrestle. There's no, like, you have to do a single leg, you have to do high cross, none of that. It's just, man, I'm in here, I'm moving, I'm feeling good, I'm finding my flow. And then you learn how to essentially dance in your stance, and not only will you get better at wrestling, you'll just become more efficient as far as your grappling cardio goes, specifically from the stand-up. Again, I would do this about 2 to 3 times a week during a camp, but if I'm outside of a camp, I won't do it really as much. Maybe once a week during warm-ups, I'll do it for about a minute or 2 minutes. Like whenever I go to a pro training session on Wednesdays, I'll warm up for about 3 minutes with stance in motion. But since I'm not really preparing for a competition at the moment, I'm just kind of just doing it once a week, trying to keep my stance good, trying to stay sharp, but not really trying to kill myself. Anyways, guys, these are 3 really great ways to get better at wrestling when no one in your room wants to wrestle you, which is a super common problem in BJJ. Once again, testing versus live. Okay, that means grabbing someone and saying, hey, let's drill, hey, let's spar, like play spar, like flow drill, versus doing an actual live match with 100% resistance. Number 2 is give guarantees. These 2 guarantees are to ask them to go easy. Say, oh man, I have an injury, hey, my back's hurt, or hey, you know, I've been out, whatever, make up whatever excuse to just get these dudes to calm down. Because as all of us know, there's lots of spazzy dudes out there, so you just be like, hey man, this is a nice way to tell them to calm down without telling them to calm down. The second guarantee is to allow the first takedown, pass, submission, whatever. Again, we're trying to, you know, take that wall down, help them relax. And that will therefore help us in the long run. It's not about winning now, it's about building rapport with people so that they come back, they feel safe with you, and eventually you'll feel safe with them. And then last but not least is solo drills. Again, I think 1 and 2 are much important than 3, which is why I put 3 here. But just in general, to help you improve your takedowns overall, you don't need a partner for solo drills. So that's exactly why you should do them. You'll learn how to work in your stance and all the other stuff I said before. Hopefully you guys found this video helpful. If you would actually like to get one of these My Knees Hurt t-shirts or one of my Kill the Weakness t-shirts, you can click one of the links, as you guys know, that's going to pop up above, or check out the link in the description. You can also find any of my instructionals, my Takedown for BJJ instructionals, including my solo drill instructional, which is called Wrestling for Dummies solo drills. Thanks for watching.